This is the proper start. It's been a while. A few weeks ago, I posted a video titled 10 Reasons to Join a Band, exploring all the glorious and wonderful reasons why someone might choose to enter into the brotherhood, or sisterhood, or any hood of musicianship. Well, would this even be a real YouTube channel if I didn't then follow that video up with another video exploring the opposite argument? Ooh, is that a piece of low-hanging fruit? With home recording and digital mastering now being so available and affordable, and streaming distribution, social media and YouTube being available for everyone to get their music out there, there is an argument that, do you even need a band anymore? Could you just do it all yourself? Here's 10 reasons to not join a band. As we just touched on in the intro, there has never been a time in history when it's been easier to be a DIY musician. In the not too distant past, to record a full band sound, you needed 2 guitars, a bass guitar, drums, some vocals, maybe a keyboard. You needed studio time, which was expensive. Once you'd recorded your album or EP, you needed distribution, a record deal, which meant you probably needed to know a guy who knew a guy. And the more people in the band, the better the chances of finding that guy. You needed to be marketable, and boy bands, even boy bands with guitars, tended to be more marketable than solo artists. But now you can do most of that work on an iPhone, and the ability to learn it is available to everyone on platforms like this. Any or most aspiring musicians can probably pull the funds together to buy a laptop and an audio interface. And from there, the rest can be accumulated over a couple of birthdays and Christmas lists. Now, I'm not saying it's dirt cheap. Many a gearhead will tell you that you need this microphone, that MIDI controller, and these items can certainly stack up into considerable spending. But for the most part, compared to traditional studio costs, home recording is fairly cheap and accessible. And with home recording and digital audio workstations comes digitally programmed instruments, which agreeably aren't as good as the real thing, but arguably will get you 90% of the way there and can be programmed by just about anyone. And then there's digital distribution and marketing. Platforms like DistroKid, TuneCore, SoundCloud, YouTube. You really can do pretty much everything yourself these days. Which leads us on to number 2. You really don't need other people these days, which I know is very similar to the last point, but following on from the you can do it all yourself, it seems the 2020s might be the decade for the solo act to shine. There's your obvious Ed Sheerans, Taylor Swifts, Harry Styles, but even in the more rockier camp, you've got Machine Gun Kelly, Sam Fender, Frank Turner, even Avril Lavigne making a comeback. Then you've got bands that aren't really bands, at least not in the traditional sense. 30 Seconds to Mars is really just Jared and his brother. Panic at the Disco is really just Brendan Urie. Even the Black Keys, who I think all would agree are a band, are really just 2 mates playing the shit out of their instruments. Maybe you don't need multiple bandmates anymore. And number 3, playing awful gigs. Now, I do believe that as a musician, playing gigs, live shows is one of the best things you can do. It's the ultimate reason why instruments were invented, to share your art, your craft with others. But there is an argument against that. I've played some god-awful gigs over the years to empty bars that smell of urine for 0 money, only to be told by the sound guy to switch the lights off before we left as he had to shoot. Now with YouTube, TikTok, live streaming, you can build an audience, a sizable one at that, without ever leaving your bedroom. And you can do all of that on your own. Number 4, there's no money in it. Making a living in a band can be challenging. Money you do earn needs to be split 4 ways between you and the other band members. Stay solo, any money earned from shows or royalties stays in your pocket. Yep. You'll lose the money you do earn. In the early days at least, being in a band is a loss leader. As mentioned, earnings need to be split between you and the other band members. Unless you have a big garage and very understanding family members and neighbours, you'll probably have to pay for rehearsal space. Recording multiple real instruments is a very different kettle of fish to programming digital drums, for instance. So again, unless you've got the space and recording know-how, you'll probably need to pay for actual studio time to get that demo produced. Touring will create wear and tear on your instrument, meaning more string changes, servicing, and of course food and beverages. The drummer will inevitably always forget his wallet and never cough up for pizza or fuel. Sorry drummers, I do love you really. I actually was a drummer in a band for a few years, but this is kind of a guitar channel. Number 6, creative differences. It's hard to deny the fact that as bandmates spend more time together, becoming more like family, the honeymoon period ends and the cracks soon start to emerge. The arguments follow shortly after. I don't think I even need to provide an example here of a band that split due to arguments. I think everyone watching just accepts that that's part of rock and roll. You've got your own creative vision, ambition and drive. You know where you want your music to go and no one is going to get you there except you. Number 7. No independence. I mean, it's similar to the last point. But if you really want to keep hold of creative control, finances, time invested, the look or brand of your music, gigs committed to, the list goes on, well then you need to stay independent, a sole trader, a freelancer, a solo artist. Number 8, time commitment. Being in a band requires more time from you as an individual. When you're solo, you can compose songs whenever inspiration strikes. When you're in a band, you'll have to go to writing sessions. There are many benefits, by the way, to scheduling creativity, and actually something I would recommend. Maybe the subject for another video. But for the sake of today's argument, let's just say scheduling sucks. When you're in a band, you'll need to block out rehearsal time. If you're solo, you can literally practice while the kettle's boiling. If you're in a band, you'll probably need to book more gigs to keep the finances coming in. May need to schedule in time for photo shoots, video shoots. It might just be easier on your diary to go it alone. Number 9, you'll lose gear. People borrow leads, tuners, pens, drumsticks, clothes even. And I'm not just talking about the guys in your band, I'm talking about people in other bands that you don't even know that happen to be playing the same stage as you and have left something important behind, and you're just the unsuspecting nice dude who likes to be prepared by carrying extra gear. You'll lose it, you'll lose your gear, and the losses won't just stop at your gear. You'll lose friends, colleagues, and potential love interests. When you're 22 and in a band, you are the cool dude. But blink and you're 37 and still swearing that this will be your year and that record deal is just around the corner. Friends will move on, work will suffer, and love interests will, well, lose interest. But making music solo? Well, then you're building a side hustle, a business, a brand, a grown-up that creates art in their spare time. So don't join a band, it's not worth the bother and you'll do it better on your own. Or maybe you won't and you really should join a band. In which case you really should watch my last video, 10 reasons to join a band. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you in a band or have you been in a band or are you a solo artist? What parts of either do you enjoy or did you enjoy? And if you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. It really means a lot. And with that, I will see you in the next video.